Hello, everybody. Okay. Hope you're all doing well tonight. Welcome back to Forever Conscious Research Channel. So before we get started, just to calm things down ahead of time, we're going to go to the bell. Okay? I'm going to do 3 rings. Just take a deep breath. Don't freak out on me yet. Okay. Okay. Just a short little one, you know, just in case. All right, so tonight's topic, I call it the Unsub Special because this is where we'll see who really desires truth, or at least a different opinion on what's going, well, some of which we know is going on, and some of which can't be said for certain, but it's just has to be said as a possibility. That's all. So I'm not asking anyone at all to, you know, if you have seen my videos and you've got your opinions on the God, the creator, source, whatever you want to call it, then that's fine. But just know that it's, as long as you're not giving yourself away to it at the time of death, then nothing really matters. I mean, you could, theoretically, you could skip this video. Excuse me, you could skip this video, and, you know, I still highly recommend that everyone concentrate on the other stuff that I'm putting out, like the NDE commentaries, the life between lives, past life regressions, also the other term, all the other different things that we're going over, the body, the breakthrough trip reports, all the different stuff that you've seen on the channel so far. Don't let this be a deterrent for you to keep searching. That's all I'm saying. So again, make of it what you will. Don't get too triggered by it. And I think we're in for an interesting ride, and I'm really curious where people stand with this towards the end. And afterwards, we'll have a open discussion. I'll go into the chat, so if you guys have any questions, any comments you want read to share with the group, that'd be great. And more than willing to mix it up and have a conversation with you guys. So, all right, so it's the God deception and creator quagmire. So the questions that really need to be asked are, which God? With so many different gods out there, how would you possibly know which one is the OG God, so to say? Okay? So, let's see. I have a list that I'm going to show you, and the list isn't even complete. I mean, it's just it's just a list of some of the gods that we're aware of. Okay? Now, what's really important with all of this is with near-death experiences. I think I also put in. I should have had that list handy, but that's all right. I'll pull it up while we're talking. NDEs, the breakthrough trip reports, the deathbed visions and visitations, astral projection. Let's see, I got NDEs, astral projection, breakthrough trip reports, deathbed visions and visitations, and just hardened belief systems in general. Okay, but we're going to kind of talk about the NDE aspect, but all of these are part of it, because what we see in all of those are, if you have a belief system, and it could be a subconscious belief system too. So theoretically, even someone who may have been a Christian growing up as a kid being a Christian, may still, they may have claimed themselves to be an atheist or something, okay? But subconsciously, they have that programming in the back of their head of being a Christian, and it still lingers with them throughout their life. So in turn, they have a Christian-based near-death experience, let's say. Or just pick whatever soup du jour you wish on what your hell-bent belief systems are, no pun intended, and that's what the Matrix is going to deliver to you. So if you believe in Jesus as your savior, the Matrix is likely going to deliver that. If you believe in Buddha might be there to cross you over to the gates. Or, in a lot of cases, it's the family members, the deceased family members specifically, helping those cross over, or going, especially in deathbed visions and visitations, obviously. What the Matrix does is it sends down minions pretending to be your family or loved ones, deceased loved ones, or religious figures like Jesus, or something playing God. I mean, there's so many different things that can happen. Again, it's all based on belief systems. So what I'm trying to get at here is that if everything's belief-based, okay, and we have all of these gods, we have all of these different religions, we have all of these beliefs, all these different things going on, okay, and what you experience is customized based on your belief system, then who's right? That's the question, right, my friends? Who's right? There's no way to know who's right, because each person thinks that they're right. If you have whatever belief system you have, and you're, have it with a fiery passion, that's what you're going to experience. And the Matrix is going to deliver that to you on a silver platter, waiting for you to eat it up and get sucked back into the reincarnation soul trap. This is how tricky this stuff is. It's really, really nasty stuff. And, I'm not trying to be a downer. I'm just trying to tell it like it is. And everything that I said as far as the belief system and all that, and how it's customized, that's fact. That's not even, that's not, can't be argued, because the best researchers in the world who dedicate their lives to this stuff have proven this time and time again, that belief-based systems are the driving force for one's experience. Now, of course, there's anomalies, like there's anomalies with everything in life. So just always take that into consideration. But it's all about the pattern recognition, right? If you're identifying the patterns and things, you have to go with what's really standing out. And we're not talking about patterns that are, 10, 20% or 50%, 60, 70%. No, we're talking about, high 80s, 90s, okay? Huge percentages of these experiences, again, with that whole list that I just gave you, are belief-based driven systems. So with the God thing, then how would one know that they are, in fact, dealing with the right one? It's impossible to know, and it's something that should be questioned for your own curiosity, right? I mean, that's the best way to look at it, because otherwise you're really taking a gamble. And that's a gamble that if you take it, then, it's not advised, because you can really, there it is. Okay. All right. So I want to show you this list. Oh, how do I get this here? Let's get this. I'll do this. Just one moment, guys. Thought I had this ready. Okay. All right, it's going to be just like this, so you just have to deal with it, but it's all right. There we go. Good enough. Okay. Remember, this is not a, I'm not a shill and do everything, glitz and glamour. Okay, so, all right. So, yeah, topic of the day, we discussed that list of gods and goddesses. Now, we've got Greek. Now, mind you, as some of you may already know, the Roman gods, there are correlations with the Greek gods. Basically, the Romans stole Greek gods and just renamed them, repackaging, so to say. So, major. I mean, just look at this list. I'm going to keep going down this, and you're just going to be like, what? Look at them all. Oops, what happened there? There we go. Okay. So, I'm just going to go through this, so take a little while, but let this sink in. Let this sink in and seriously say to yourself, okay, well, I have my belief in God, but there's all these other gods. So how do I know that the one I was told about and likely indoctrinated with growing up is the God of all gods? Seeing what I'm saying here? It's just, I'm not going to keep it up too long, but I'm going to keep going. I mean, that's, we're going into the third page. Now, again, the Roman gods, we're dealing with a crossover with the Greek gods, because what does this matrix do well? It, bullshits you and deceives you and repackages things and puts a new fancy label on it, a new name, and just pawns itself off as original when it's not original. That's how often do we see that in this realm? It's crazy. I mean, now we're getting into the Egyptians. I mean, just look at this. creator of the gods, cat goddess, god of music and childbirth, god of the earth, fertility god, lady of the west, goddess of childbirth. I mean, it's just sky god, god of war and hunting, mother goddess, known as divine mourner, god of creation, time and rebirth, youthful moon god, creator god who formed people from clay, fertility god, sky goddess, cow goddess, god of perfume and aromatherapy, warrior god, mother of the gods. Ooh, that sounds like a nice one. I bet she's the one. You get what I'm saying? God of the underworld, god of craftsmanship and builders. You know that they love these two. They love Osiris. They love Ra, Set, Thoth, Mesopotamian. It's endless, guys. Endless. Marduk, chief god of Babylon. He's a familiar name in our time. Well, there's loads of familiar names on here, but Tiamat. Okay, this is Norse mythology gods. And as far as mythology goes, that's just cloak and dagger for real beings that existed. Maybe not all of them, but I mean, there's just too much out there for, I think basically we were in a different time period. We're a different version of human beings. Celtic. It's just god of war, the horned god, keeper of the cauldron of the underworld, goddess of prophecy, god of healing, goddess of fertility, horses, donkeys, and mules, god of the wild hunt, vegetation and vines, god of blacksmiths, goddess of war and sovereignty. Oh, wow. Well, isn't that an interesting god? That's goddess of war and sovereignty. Yeah, okay, sure. God of elegance, goddess of horses, fertility goddess, god of bards of poets, god of thunder, protector of the people. Mayan gods, god of wine and winemaking, god of hunting, god of rebirth. I mean, you see, it goes on and on and on. I mean, you get the point, right? I mean, I'm putting all this up here to prove a point with how many gods there are. A little spell check there. It's just endless. Now we got the Hawaiian gods. So you see what I'm getting at. I mean, Chinese. It's I can go on forever with this stuff, but they got Japanese. Okay. Okay. So, you get the point is with this stuff. So it's just unreal. It's and that's not all of them. Remember, that is not all of them. It's such a honestly, the list, who knows how many there could be, in total that have graced their glorious presence upon us during Earth's existence. And think about all the gods that, we don't even have, there were, the information got destroyed. And, it's okay. So again, I ask you, my friends, which God is it? Which God is it? How do you know? How do you know? How do you know that the God you may be worshiping is the one. And are you going to roll the dice when you die and bank on the God you believe you're going to is the right one? Very, very scary stuff to even consider. And then you have people say, oh, well, God is all-knowing, I'm all-knowing, blah, blah, blah. Well, near-death experiences prove time and time again that when they are meeting with entities, that they're not all-knowing. They claim they're all-knowing. We hear it time and time again. I was all-knowing. I had the answers. They say, I got the answers to every question, or I had the answers to every question. And then conveniently they come back and they can't remember it. Why is that? Just saying. They claim they're meeting God, they're meeting Jesus, they're meeting this one, that one. It's the one. But when you boil it down, it's simply just not the case. And it's very, very risky for us to bank on such a thing because, I don't want to be reliant on something outside myself that might not be the one. Okay, so the next part is multiple creators. Now, this one's probably really going to piss some people off. But I'm sorry, I guess the first part could easily piss people off too. But multiple creators, think of it this way. Now, we know that we are creator beings, okay? And that was given to us by another creator being, possibly one creator being. I'm not discounting that it's possible that there's just one main creator of spirits and it's just the spirit factory, just, that's busy, okay? But it gets a little hard to say with any certainty if that's truly what's going on. Excuse me. I apologize. So think of it this way. If we are creator beings, then who's to say we haven't created spirits? Now, this isn't some ego-driven, manic type statement. It's just asking the question. If we are creator beings, then who's to say that we also don't have that ability to create spirits, just like we were created by something else at some point? Or is it that the main creator is the only one allowed to create new spirits and bring them into existence? That might be the case, but we have no way of knowing. But we do know that we're creator beings. So is that one thing off limits? Is that one of the things on the list of when we're created, that when we're brought into existence, that we may not have the ability to do? We see time and time again in astral projection and breakthrough trip reports, those two specifically, how we are able to basically create how we wish, as long as we are aware too. We see time and time again in the breakthrough trip reports how someone may be having a negative experience or an experience that they might not necessarily want to continue. They put their intention towards something else and boom, it happens. Sometimes they're even, building a reality, or manifesting this reality with their creative abilities. So we know for certain that we have creator abilities in us, but can we bring things, can we bring spirits into existence? It's a really, really important question. One that we obviously won't have the answer to till we get the hell out of here. But it's an interesting one because there's a lot. I mean, just think about how this whole realm is set up for us to really just believe in the one. I mean, granted, of course, we could talk about India with their multiple. I mean, we saw the multiple gods. There are multiple earth gods that can be worshipped, and then whatever a person is again believing is up to them, and that's how their experience will be rolled out at death, or if they have something like a near-death experience, or all the other things that we talked about earlier. So just, I just wanted to throw that up there for you guys to think about. And I'm really, really curious what your opinions are on that. So if you're interested in talking about that, please save your comment. Maybe write up your comment and save it in a memo or in a notepad. And then when we end the presentation, then we can talk about it, because I'm really, really curious what you guys think. Okay, the next one is New Age hocus pocus. Okay, merging with source, reuniting with source. Let me just tell you something. This guy ain't reuniting or merging with anything, because the one thing I learned is that I have the ability to create, you have the ability to create, and when we give ourselves away to something else outside of us, coming here is what happens. That's the result of making that type of move. Giving ourselves over to something else, like a god, like a source. So talk about sketchy as hell, the New Age stuff. Merging with source, reuniting with source. I mean, it sounds good. It sounds good. But I don't trust it. And I sure as hell am not, again, going to roll the dice and bank on that being a good thing or even legitimate. Okay? Let's talk about just it being authentic, let alone if it's a good thing. We don't know. I mean, and I'm not going to be the guy to find out. So maybe, some of you out there can go, do a little test on that. Nah, I'm just joking. You guys aren't that stupid. You guys are geniuses out there. We're all trying to figure this shit out together. But good Lord, no. There will be no reuniting or merging with anything up in here. Okay. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say here is we can't afford to be wrong on this. Remember, belief versus knowing. Belief versus knowing. Faith versus knowing. Inner knowing. Something's rotten. Something's really, really rotten with all of this. Okay? Now, could I be wrong about some of it? Sure. But I'm not going to be, beta testing any of this stuff. And I suggest you don't do the same. I suggest, you don't even consider this an option for yourself, because the risk is way, way too much. So, yeah, I think that will. I'm gonna move over to the chat, and we'll talk with each other. And so for people listening who don't want to hear the live chat, and what I'll basically do is, read questions, read people's comments like I normally do. But for anyone not interested in this segment, the presentation part of this is over. So let me know what you thought, and I'm curious where your heads are at with some of this stuff. I mean, I just think, this constant looking outside of ourselves all the time is really way too. I'm not gonna subscribe to it. So okay, just scrolling up really quick. SN said, "Sorry, I've seen my ADSL went off. I meant the CC button in some of your videos doesn't appear for automatic English subtitles." Yeah, I saw your comment about that, SN. I have it set up where it should do every single video. So if there's a certain one you're having issues with, just maybe leave the title, or if there's a lot of them, you can always email me too, foreverconsciousresearch@gmail.com. That's foreverconsciousresearch@gmail.com. All together, no channel in that. And then just put subtitles in the subject, and I'll take a look at some of what you're saying. But I activate the subtitles for everything. And I really, what I would like to do is get all of the videos translated into multiple languages and something like that. I did look into it, but it costs quite a bit of money. So, but there may be a way to get around that. I'm just trying to figure it out. It seems like a bit of a big process, but I think it's possible. We'll see. T, great to see you. That's right. Hashtag last timers. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Allie says, "Seek the way, but if you cannot walk the path, then best remain silent on the topic altogether." Lone Traveler, good to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight. I just scrolled up just a little bit, and if you guys got, you know what I'll do? I'll go to the bottom of the chat and then go back up a little later, because there's a lot here. So if you guys have, I'm really curious what you guys think about the multiple creators, like that we could possibly, or everyone who's brought into existence can then bring something else into existence, like a spirit. Let's see. Mr. Laugh, how you been, man? I haven't seen you in a long ass time, bro. Good to see you. Okay, let me see what he says here. Scroll up, see what you got, Mr. Laugh. Been a long time, man. Okay, Mr. Laugh. Could you fit a matrix inside a matrix? If so, how many could you do that before the information loss would make another matrix impossible? It's an interesting one. Mr. Laugh says, "I create a lot of things. I'm planning on making an induction furnace in the coming months. Should be cool." Weren't you doing... Oh, no, that was... I think Goober Bear was making those, if I remember correctly. He had some of his videos on his old Desert Rat channel. Abraxas, good to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight. Infinite Corridors, good to see you as well. This entire reality is a reflection of our innermost being in every moment as well. I've literally changed my assumptions and beliefs about people, and they changed. Yeah, this reality is a real weird place, and odd things can happen. But it's interesting if it's on a human level, like especially if you're saying, change my assumptions and belief about people and they changed. or is it your perception of what they are? Because what I'm thinking is, how do I put this? Even though obviously free will is pretty much nothing here. I mean, it exists to some extent, but it's a pathetic version of so-called free will. Not sure how changing someone would work without their involvement, so to say. Just something to think about. Could be your perception because you're putting that energy out there, and in turn, you're experiencing it differently. It's kind of an interesting thing to think about. Let's see. Abrax says, stealing our loosh, giving away our loosh by consent. Yep. T says, whose source is it? Sugar C says, let's not roll the dice. Haha. Yep, I'm right. There'll be no rolling of the dice on this end. Capper, good to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight. Mr. Laugh says, people who seek nirvana or going back to a source are the most evil. If a single thing once existed, it was completely and truly alone and tore itself into a trillion pieces to run from that fate. It's an interesting one. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, the people who do seek nirvana or reuniting with source are just, they're lost. You know, nirvana, in my opinion, is figuring out that you're in this trap, and to get out of it and reclaim yourself. Nirvana would be reclaiming your true spirit essence. But as far as achieving it in the terms of how it's been sold to the public, hell no. No way. Brax says, roll the die. God was bored. Good to see you, sister. Hope you're doing well tonight. Okay, Capper says, got bit late, was watching stars, breathing cold nightly air. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Brax says, great topics to think about. Joe Schmo says, I think in this universe, the oneness and independence we have as souls is inverted to trick us. I think in this universe, the oneness and independence we have as souls is inverted to trick us. The oneness thing is something I think about a lot. And the problem is we're looking at oneness and how it pertains to this matrix, right? So, you know, even when looking at near-death experiences, who, you know, the people will say, oh, you know, we're all one and this and that. You know, it's, let me just say, I don't necessarily want to be a part of oneness. I want to be sovereign and do my own thing, because oneness implies that we are, you know, okay with being mixed up with some sick bastards out there. But, you know, I mean, just because we're connected doesn't mean that it's, you know, going to be negative for us. It's just kind of a weird concept. It doesn't necessarily, I don't say either way whether that's happening or not. I find it very interesting. I think it does lean more towards that being possible, though, based on what I've seen. Franklin Pomolsky. God was the one that told me about spiritual liberation, so it's all good. This is all really important to know about. Okay, yeah, Franklin, the way I see it, my friend, is as long as you, well, see, the other thing is if God was the one that told me, it could also be you. It could be your, you finding yourself, you communicating with yourself on some level, like because our true spirit essence is quarantined off large portions of it by the mere fact of us being in this realm and inside of the body where we are being with the limitations of it. Our true spirit essence leaks in no matter what. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be like 100% or anything like that, but it's just, but it's interesting, Franklin. So yeah, I mean, I think as long as you realize about the spiritual liberation part, that's all that matters, my friend. The whole God thing and creator thing is, it's just a discussion more than anything. As long as you got yourself in line and how you want to handle your death and not give yourself away to something else, that's really all that matters. What's wrong with this here? Okay, looks like is that AA? I think it was AA. Yeah, AA, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. That's very kind of you. For some reason it was blocked off on my end. Thank you so much again. It's very kind of you. Much appreciated. And if you guys are enjoying the stream tonight, please consider hitting the like button so we can hopefully get this into more people's feeds. At least that's what I'm told. Not sure if it's true. Okay, looks like I lost my way here. Okay, yeah, there's Franklin. Okay, Ms. Ellie, great to see you, sister. Hope you're doing well. Abraxas, hashtag last timers. That's right. Infinite Corridors, read Neville Goddard and learned the mystical interpretation of the Bible that he taught, the law of assumption, consciousness, and how to successfully manifest your life. Abraxas, the only, quote, God, end quote, I have known is a force that is not describable with words. Yeah. I mean, how do you, how do you, I mean, if we're little creator beings coming from some source, and we can't even figure that out. So how do we describe it in words? I think that's a really good observation to point out. I'm with you. Okay, Mr. Laugh, it is impossible to make truth claims about things outside of casual. Well, yeah, I mean, there's no way to say definitively. All we know is that we're... Something going on here? Uh-oh. Okay. Stream's okay. Thought there was an issue there for a minute. Okay. Okay, Abraxas says, when I met, quote, God, end quote, it was a pair of hands holding me and carrying me away from a car wreck. The way I knew was that its energy filled me and spoke to me without words. I was incapable of doubt. Woo. That's intense. Yeah, I'd like to talk to you more about that, Abraxas. I think I gave you my email before, right? If you emailed me already and I haven't responded, I apologize. But if you ever want to talk further about that, please let me know. foreverconsciousresearch@gmail.com. Okay. Abraxas says, the, quote, God, end quote, energy permeated throughout my being and I could hear its words, but it did not speak with sound. Yeah, telepathic, right? It was inexplicable. Area 51. Ken, good to see you, brother. Belief. Be live. Be live. Life be lie. Live, too. Evil. Live. Inverted. Infinite corridors. Karma does exist, but it is literally cause and effect. The causes of this world are mental activity, the mental plane, and the excuse me, and the effects are objective manifestations into 3D physical plane. Okay. Karma 97 happened to be mentioned. Welcome, Karma 97. T says, what is God? I think it's your perception of it. Man-made concept, I guess. Yep. There you go. I mean, how can we... I mean, we're not in our organic state as a human being. That's not our true state. So we, therefore, lack the ability to really have any sort of idea. We're just shooting from the hips here. All we do know is that we live in a matrix reincarnation soul trap. That we know. There's no doubt about that. But as far as the whole God thing goes, a lot of bullshit out there. Let's just say that. Okay, infinite corridors. Everyone's constantly manifesting this world every moment with their mental and emotional activity. Your innermost being is creating every moment, and there is natural delay in the outpicturing effect. Yeah, but the other weird thing is that, you know, it's not. I absolutely agree with that. At the same time, it also can manifest itself in the weirdest ways too. It's not necessarily going to be as it would in our natural state. I mean, and that's just me basing it off of some times that I've been outside my body and how easy it is to have to create. Whereas here, it's just slow, very, very slow. Mr. Laugh says, the cat gods are the only true gods. Sorry, Ken, I cannot read that comment. I like it, though. Okay, Infinite Corridor says, the unified field is basically the same as the ether. Yes, absolutely. And runs through all things in existence. Therefore, on a fundamental level, all things are actually one thing and interconnected. The field is God. Infinite Corridor says, super intelligent life giving essence, connecting and underlying all of existence. Super intelligent life giving essence, connecting and underlying all of existence. Karma 97 says, the observer is beyond its imagination. Could be the case. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I could see that being the case too. Brack says, nice list. Throw a dart, pick a god, any god. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I know. It's just, the list is insane. I mean, it's just, it's totally insane. You know what? I'll leave it up here just so you, in case you guys want to look. I'll just do I'll do a page down at a time. So I'll leave it up and then chat with you guys and go back to it in case any of you guys want to take a look at it. Because I was going a little fast during the presentation, so. Okay. Mr. Laugh. Lots of gods. Gotcha. Okay. The 51 project. They are all egregores, artificially generated thought forms, stronger the more people who believe, but do we actually create something tangible through our lives beyond the psychological? Yeah, I mean, the egregores continue to build as the years roll by. I mean, as more people subscribe to them, the power and power builds more and more, and then they take on a life of their own. Okay. Okay. Okay, Franklin says if you claim your spiritual freedom like you'll get it, that's the main point. Yep. Yep. It's all about our consent and free will. The realization of where we are and who we truly are and what we are going to do when we leave here. Okay. That work. Okay. Infinite chorus. I already did that. Let's see. It's happening. Okay. 51 project says, yep, what's happening in the world transformation right now is literally being done by the minds of the masses, not by the controllers, of which there are only a few. The masses are doing it. Abso-freaking-lutely, bro. It's unreal to see how everything is. They put out the carrot. They got the carrot on the stick, but the carrot on the stick is fear. Like, ooh, okay, here comes the big ass carrot, and then the news covers it, the internet starts talking about it, all this stuff, and then it just keeps going and going and building, and it takes on a life of its own. And the general public is the one responsible for giving it more life. Like you said, there's only a few of them, but the masses are the ones really doing the dirty work for the system. Really good comment, Ken. Thank you. Infinite Quarter says, well, there's other possibilities many people never think of as well. We could have died in the astral realm and then were born again here. This life might be an afterlife already. Very, well, if we're talking about, a matrix within a matrix within a matrix, yeah, absolutely. I think something like that could easily be possible. And actually, Simon, if you're listening, we've talked about that before too, man. We've gone into some really deep, crazy conversations about, being in a layered simulation, and who knows the things that we consent to. Since we have the veil of forgetfulness over us, it makes things impossible to really get a full on knowing about what the hell is going on here. We gotta, even for the truths that we talk about with the soul trap, it's a drop in the bucket to God knows whatever the hell else is going on out there. But as long as you learn about the soul trap, it's the king of all truths. There's nothing more important that can be learned while you're here. It provides a path to never have to deal with this crap again. To know that you have the power to your own destiny, to your own liberation, to your sovereignty. Okay. Let's scroll down here. Ann, good to see you. Ann Pearson in the house. It's great to see you, sister. Okay. Stacy Tillman. Much love and gratitude to you and all. Much love to you as well, Stacy. Thank you for joining us. Okay. Addie, I haven't seen you in a while. Oh, PKOSB, I haven't seen both of you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. PK says, I just saw this. Hi, everyone. Addie says, 3 false gods equal 3 Abrahamic religions. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. SN says, God in Greek language, theos, etymologically means someone who runs very fast. Okay. Allie says, everything is the furthest language. I'm sorry. Whoa. English is the furthest language away from faith. You don't have the vocabulary to understand. Well, just, yeah, I mean, being limited. Yeah, he's next. Ali says, or Ali. Is that Ali? Okay. Ali. Very limited by your definitions and words. Only God can describe God. Ali says, say, no, I'm not going to say any of that shit. No, thank you. I'll pass. Okay. Okay, and Pearson says, pray or pray, work, trick. Are we praying or praying when we pray? God bless you or God bless you. We don't know what we speak. Yeah, I mean, the English language is a dumpster fire. That's for certain. I just didn't like where you were going, Allie, with that last part, because I'm not going to say that. That's up to you. You're not going to get me to say stuff like that. Okay. Allie says, even calling it a matrix reincarnation soul trap is another concept. It's the truth. It's happening. It is what it is. I mean, if you know, it's just words, but it's truth. It's what's happening here. So listen to the Quran in Arabic. Just listen and observe. No, thank you. I got an enemy of 322 to help me out with any of my Quran inquiries. Ugh, I always have trouble saying that word. Inquiries. Let's just say it that way. Abraxas says, the more, quote, love and, quote, hate energy we let out here, the weaker we will be when it comes time to turn away from the external light. Seems like... Oh, let me... Okay. If the connection gets a little weird, please let me know. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I also just wanted to add really quickly, I do have membership set up now with the channel. So if anyone's interested in joining the channel memberships, we have 3 different tiers, and 2 of the 3 include monthly members live streams where there'll be open phones, and I'll always bring a few topics to the stream and kind of leave it in your hands. You know, I basically put out a few topics, start going over them, and And if anyone wants to call and mix in or say certain things and connect with me and the rest of the members, it's a fun time. So if anyone's interested in joining, feel free. No requirements, obviously. It's always appreciated, but never required. And as I've said in the past, guys, trust me when I say all the information that I share here will never have a price tag behind it if it's important. So rest assured that if it's important, it's going to be free. I'm a really good salesman, can you tell? And thank you very much to all the members out there. Very kind of you to help support the channel. Uh-oh. Connection seems off, but let me just scroll down here really quick. Okay. Ian Pearson says, 41 watching, passing a cup of kindness. Thank you. Okay. Scroll back up here. Ollie, I don't mind you mixing it up and stuff, and I'm not trying to be a jerk, but the whole coming in here and propagating religious dogma is just it. I don't mind you speaking your piece, but not endless breakdowns and scripture text. It's just not going to fly here. I'm sorry. So you're more than welcome to stick around, but I'm only going to deal with so much of that. This is, my channel is about sovereignty and liberation from this matrix, not being hooked into system manufactured dogma and narratives. And that's no offense to you. I respect whatever you want to do, but that's not what goes on here. And, I don't, this is not something I would, I even feel comfortable saying, but it's, it's just, there's a lot you're putting out there. So let's just move on, and, you're welcome to stay, but Stacy Tillman Mass says, show more love and hit the like button. Thank you. Very much appreciated. I also wanted to say, guys, if you haven't seen the video that I did on the timestamps not appearing in the timestamp chapter module, whatever they call it, YouTube has been, it's been a couple weeks now, I think it's been, oh, excuse me, I apologize. 10 should have muted, but I couldn't get to it in time. I want to get one of those mute buttons. Anyways, the chapters for the videos are no longer showing. So if I put chapters in, please check the description. And I also usually put it in a pinned comment in the comments section. So the timestamps will still be there, but they won't have the fancy YouTube module with it. Why that's happening, I don't know. But just to piggyback off that, please consider subscribing to the backup channels I have, Forever Conscious Research Channel 2 and 3. Those are located in the description tab, and as well as the About section of the channel if you go into the main part. Okay. Braxa says, you never met Allah in your whole life. And Pearson says, Ali on how to create, how to perform magical spells, charms, divination, how to summon or invoke supernatural entities, such when we pray, objects like talisman and ambulance. Abraxas, I am that I am. As the Papa, right? I am's what I am's. Abraxas coming in and saying that warship, the Black Saturn cube. Yep. The cube is truth bomb in plain sight. There's so much on the cube too. It really sucks because I would love to go over the media aspect of things, particularly as it pertains to the cube. And all all the movies, the TV, the music, it's just so pervasive and in our face that it sucks that I can't cover it on this channel without getting, a little slap on the wrist. No, not allowed. Not allowed to do it. But just to give you guys a heads up, my plan is to, when I get the website running, which is definitely not going to happen until at least the beginning of next year at this point. When I do the website, I plan to be able to cover media more and do exclusive videos on the website. So that cover various different things, particularly media that I would love to talk about with you guys. But so you'll have to, when the website's ready, you'll have to head over there to check that out. Okay. Okay, God was bored said, okay, I can't keep up with all of it, so um God was bored says Ali needs a block. I blocked her a while ago. The stream is starting to focus on Ali. Okay. Alright, it's time to go. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was starting to pick up vibes of that, but I didn't, trying to keep up with other things. So, those of you out there who are mods in the chat, please don't hesitate to use your wrench when necessary. I trust everyone out there that I gave one to. So, let's see. Make an executive decision. I'm really horrible at multitasking, and so not always easy. Okay. Okay. Infinite Quarter says, fill yourself with great love while here and live in that state of vibrational resonance. Then after the body dies, you will not be deceived by false love light, as you will not seek it from the outside. Well, I mean, I think it's good to, obviously be more directed towards love and happiness, kindness, compassion, empathy, all that stuff while you're here. Because where that energy goes, energy flows. I think I'm messing that up. I think I screwed it up. But you know what I'm saying. Where our energy goes, if you're rotting in negative town all the time, well, your life is gonna reflect that in many ways. So it's only natural that you want to try and direct yourself towards a more happier existence while you're here. But the only thing I will say is that the second part, Infinite Corridors, then after the body dies, you will not be deceived by false love light, as you will not seek it from the outside. I think it's a little much to mix those, those two in there. I think they're two very separate things. And the love bomb at the time of death or in near-death experiences, if one falls victim to it and allows it, is extremely strong. It's if anything, near-death experiences have shown us, it's that love bomb is extremely powerful. So I think, yes, you live a good life with love in your heart and compassion and empathy, being kind, trying to be as happy as you can, all that stuff while you're here. But as far as it translating to the afterlife and being like an advantage, I don't think that's the case. I mean, let me just say, like, if that's how you feel it'll work for you, that's all that matters. That's because as long as your intention is, okay, I'm going to be, in this happy, loving, empathetic, compassionate state while here until leading up to and at the time of death, and then I'm going to, cut it off completely, that's great. That's as long as that's your plan and you set it in motion, that's cool. So, but just make sure your intention is always more focused on, not more focused on, but always, focused on your liberation and sovereignty too. That should be a daily exercise that you're putting out there. Don't obsess over it, but I mean, for me, it's something I'm thinking about a lot, but I'm not letting it eat me up either. I'm basically, the way I see it is my intention is declared, nothing's fucking with it, and that's the bottom line. And I put that out there regularly. So nothing's gonna come and scoop me up. Not gonna happen. And you don't want to leave. I'll just add to this that you don't want to leave any room for possibility. Like, there's been, comments in the comments section in the live chat from people who, frankly, leave the door open, that's not good. You don't want to be doubtful on something like this. You want your intention to be fiery. Nothing is going to dare stand in your way. You see what I'm saying? Because otherwise, it's a disservice to you and your sovereign essence. And that's not to crap on anybody. That's just to say, that's just more like advice, protection advice to make sure that you're not setting yourself up for something that's going to come along and say, oh, well, they're going to say, oh, well, this person, doubted things. Oh, fuck. Sorry. I had it all set. There we go. Okay. Sorry. So if something, if say you have doubts about whether you truly are sovereign and whether you truly can or cannot consent to or deny consent to these bastards, that's not it's not healthy. I'll just say it flat out. It's just not healthy. Because what's going on is you're leaving the door open. Don't leave the door open. The door is not allowed to be open. You are sovereign. You're not going to consent to the bullshit. You're not even going to allow an initial interaction to come in and mess with you. See what I'm saying? If otherwise, you're leaving the door open. Don't leave the door open. I know I'm repeating myself, but I can't say that enough. It's really, really important. Fake it till you make it. Do what you got to do. Drill it in your head. Make an affirmation track for yourself. Listen to it at night. Listen to it in the morning. Whatever you got to do. Drill it into your head. Program yourself. You can program your brain to have, again, make an affirmation track on your own where, I am sovereign. I do not consent to any interaction at the time of my death or leading up to and at the time of death or ever anything relating to anything outside myself is just not, it's not happening. It's not allowed. And you make a script up for yourself that you want to live by now on into, especially at the time of death, and play it, and the brain can be retrained within 21 to 28 days. It's basically your mind controlling yourself. I mean, that's really the bottom line. Another alternative would be to write a script for yourself and have someone compile it and set it up on, with the background music for you if you don't do video creation. But I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm not trying to come off weird or like a dick, but you have to be hell bent on your desire to be sovereign. And just don't leave the door open. That's all I'm saying. All right, sorry for the rant there. Okay. Abraxas says Ali is a good sport. Ali adds to the conversation. Okay. Did I maybe overreact? Okay. Capper says, okay, no, that's just level 2. Oh, level 2. Sorry, I missed you there. Welcome. All language is symbolic. The map is not the territory. Maybe some languages have a clearer symbol system to direct us to the truth of this of the territory. These words were formed. Just the mere fact that language is a thing that separates us is very revealing in and of itself as a matrix control structure construct. Matrix control structure construct. Okay. Okay, maybe I should identify me. Good to see you. I didn't see you slip in till just now. Oh, yeah, you just got here. Okay. Anne says, I don't naturally have a power trip ego, and I don't want to be whacking to whack unless someone is being disrespectful. Laugh out loud. PKOSB says, I don't want to forget this life, all I've learned. No, it's not going to happen, PKOSB. It's not, sister. You're good. Remember the thing we talked about, how as much as we don't like to say, oh, well, Earth's school and yada, 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 there is a lesson to take from here. And that lesson is that we will never give our sovereignty away to something else ever again. It's just not going to happen. That's the biggest lesson we can take, forever. For the rest of existence, for infinity, we are going to have that in our back pocket. So if we pull up on a realm later down the road, decide to mix it up a little bit, get a little crazy, experience another reality, the biggest lesson is that if we're going to go chill in some realm, if it requires us giving any 0.0001% of ourselves, then it's a hard hell no. Hell no. Not going to happen. So that's one of the biggest lessons I think we could absolutely take from here as a plus. Okay, I know there's pluses are sometimes few and far between, but that is one of the lessons that is learned here, that we shouldn't be giving away our sovereignty in exchange for an experience. So the only reason we would forget this life, PKOSB, is if we fell under the hooks of the reincarnation soul trap. And had our memories wiped out, went on to the life review, went to the light, fell for all the bullshit with our deceased family members or pets or religious deities, yada, yada, yada. So that's not going to happen. We're all good. Okay. Ann Pearson says to PKOSB, OSB, good to see you. I want to forget this nightmare at some point, but don't want a complete mind wipe either. Too much trauma, loss, and heartache for me to want to remember this place. I think if you make it out, the memory should be intact, but what you could do when you're out completely and within your own created realm, you could, I guess, direct your intention to take out the things that hurt you. But the other thing to remember is the emotions aren't there. So things that may be screwed up, we would just, I don't think there would be this swing of feelings. Now, possibly that's wrong, but from what I gather, especially for the near-death experiencers, that before, I like to call it the sweet spot. There's a time, now mind you, it's not in all near-death experiences. It's in ones whose stories are usually more specific, like they're more detailed. They recall more, or again, we have the belief-based system coming right back in our face too. But there is this moment I like to call the sweet spot where a person, has a near-death experience. For instance, the near-death commentary that I did on Tony, who got struck by lightning at the phone booth. He had a sweet spot moment where he didn't have emotions, basically. He just was pure existence. So the trauma, the loss, the heartache, the extreme love, or this or that, or happiness, It's just boils down to a pure existence. And we saw that with Tony until he went up that staircase and ran into that blue light, that blue ball of light. The blue ball of light goes over him, and then all of a sudden he is, everything's love and everything's amazing, and then he goes on his whole journey. We're not going to rehash that whole thing, but the point is there are moments in near-death experiences where we can see that. It's not until something comes in and interferes with the person who's having the near-death experience, and there is a consent given there too. It's oh, what's that? Tony's like, oh, what, that's theoretically I'm saying what he may have said in his spirit self. Oh, what's that blue light? That's interesting. I'm starting to feel an energy from that. And what Tony does is he goes forward. He goes forward. That's a consent gesture. That's him agreeing to it. And in turn, everything else unfolded. So, make of it what you will. I personally feel that the whole emotional thing and, the lows and the highs, it's not like we won't be like, oh yeah, that was, this place was messed up. But I don't think the big emotional swings and feelings like we have as it pertains to the body may necessarily exist when we're in our true spirit essence. Just something to consider. But I would think that you probably could theoretically put your intention out there to forget certain memories. Christ, they can do the memory wipe here. Remember, we're creator beings. Why wouldn't we be able to do it ourselves and take out certain things, certain specific things that may bother us if we are dealing on an emotional scale with things? So crazy to think about, isn't it? Okay. Karma 97 says, think about humans viewing themselves on a higher level. For example, cartoon figures experiencing themselves the way we see existence. Now try to conceptualize it a level higher. Right? I like that. Abraxas says, I'm going to ride the spiral to the end. Thanks, Anne. I appreciate what you're doing tonight. Thank you. It's very kind of you. Level 2 says, how do you ride the spiral to the end? Okay. Okay, Hattie says, human feelings are the soul trap machine reproduction. It don't matter, good or bad feelings. We are the mind for that machine. Yeah, I think that's what's going on too. I'm pretty thoroughly convinced on it that it's I want to do a video. I've had it in the back of my head that we're sensory and emotional junkies, and that's why we kept coming back here. Like we're hooked, or we're hooked on all of that, and that's like a major part of why we end up back here, or why we did end up back here. Not anymore. That shit's over. Good comment, Hattie. Identify me. I like that. My intention will be I am invisible and untraceable. There you go. I like that one a lot. Untraceable. Untraceable. Invisible. Nothing's gonna fuck with you. Like that one a lot. Braxis says, I am the light and I wish to go home. Remember, home is your sovereign self. At least up to you how you want to interpret it, but it's all about your sovereign, you know. I think home is just, yeah, like our true spirit essence existence. It's not like a place, it's just a pure existence. I think I never felt home here. I don't know about you guys. Even as far back as I have memories for, literally, I have never felt like like this is organic me. And I didn't understand it for many, many years. And I just it's I know talk to a lot of you feel the same way. Can't quite You can't quite put your finger on it when you're younger. You just know something's wrong. And then you chug through life, asking questions, digging. And you just can't, like, something's wrong. Something's not right here. I don't know what the hell it is. Yada, yada. And, well, now we know why, right? Now we understand. I'm doing well identifying me. Thank you for asking. Thank you. T says, I like it here with you guys. I know, right? We should be so badass if we just get like some little, not little, but some big plot of land and just park a bunch of small houses or trailers on it and have a chill time with each other. Do our own thing. Meet up for dinner or lunch once in a while or have conversations. Do a group meditation telling the Matrix to fuck off. Alright. Okay. PKOSB says, I'm not allowing anything to mess with me. Well, that's what I'm planning. That's your hard intention. It's non-negotiable. Remember, non-negotiable. What you put out there from now until the day you die is a firm intention that you are not going to be messed with. There's no, it's a demand. There's a non-negotiable. It's the best way to put it out there, in my opinion. And, you know, phrase it however you want, but you get the point. Brax says, I am seriously turning away from the light this time. We'll keep that thought until and after I die. Yep. Light ain't gonna happen. Love bomb ain't gonna happen. Also, you know, even, you know, deceased family members, any sort, you know, you're not gonna allow any toxic earth belief systems that you don't subscribe to. Gotta be specific on that one. To come and impact you at the time of death. So, you know, no little visitations from grandma or, you know, or the family dog or the cat or Jesus or, you know, or Muhammad, whatever the heck. Doesn't matter. Not going to happen. You know, a blanket intention that nothing is going to fuck with you. We're all on the same page. Okay. Check, where am I? There we go. Anne says, wish we could create our own world, one that did not resemble a prison without evil. Yeah, and we do have that ability. We just have to hold off a little while. It would be so cool to, create our own realities and be able to, well, we are going to be able to do that, but it would be cool to be able to figure out a method and like way of knowing that, let's just say like we would be dealing with each other, where we know that good intentions are all that's involved. No bullshit, no evil, no prison stuff. You know what I'm saying, Ann? Thinking it's hard to even imagine that when being in this right now. We'll see what happens. Be nice if we could all meet up later on, right? It'd be pretty cool. Brax says there is no good without evil, vice versa. Duality. Got a duality here, so. Alright, I think Dashton. Hello, Dashton. Been a while since I've seen you. Hope you're well. Nova, Tara. Okay, Nova Terra says, recapitulation is the way to deal with that. A lot of emotions are quite literally giving away energy. So beware of that and only allow the real deal. I like that. Yep. Yeah, I mean, just the fact that we're feeding the energy vampires out there. The call it the loosh system. Negative energy extraction is the other term I like to use for it. And it doesn't even always, it doesn't even have to be negative either. It could be positive. The point is there is a outgoing energy of emotions, and the system feeds off of that, and I think reflects it back at us often in an effort to get us to veer in a certain direction or a certain path or a certain way of thinking that may or is probably most of the time not in our best interest, or if it is, it's to the matrix's advantage, if that makes sense. The vegan skeptic. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Oh, interesting topic. Can't wait to watch it. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well this weekend. I enjoyed our conversation the other day on the server. Okay, Dashton says, even seeing Jesus and feeling his presence that felt like that I never done before. Still, I don't know. Ann says, me neither, not home here. ET phone home, SOS. I've been homesick for a very long time. I'm with you, Ann. I'm with you, sister. Karma says, is it more of the Truman Show or the Matrix or both? I think both. I think it's definitely both. That's my opinion, but I think it's a combination of both for sure. I mean, How creepy is it that every minute of every second of every day is recorded of our lives in some creepy ass matrix system? I mean, near death experiences prove it overwhelmingly. I mean, it's can't even be denied. It's the life review is so specific in what they say that it proves that every single second of every day is recorded up in the ether or in the, great bullshit computer in the realm, however you want to call it. Allie's back. Welcome back. I guess set Allie free. I apologize. Allie, for that earlier. Allie says, or Ollie, praise to that happening over and over. For years, I pulled my own existence out of emptiness. Then one swoop, one swing of the arm, and that work is over. Free of who I was, free of presence, free of dangerous fear, hope, free of monotonous wanting. PKO Space says, it's all about deception, so why let them get by with it? I'm not sure, PK, if you're talking to me or... Ollie. Igor, good to see you, sir. Welcome. Great to see you. I hope you're doing well, brother. Getting kind of close to wrapping it up, but we'll read a few more comments, see what you guys have to say, and then I gotta head off. Oh, we're almost at 2 hours. Okay. Let's see. Ken says, in all the trip reports of ayahuasca, etc., people go to a place of incredible color and vision and entities, but none ever see a light that I know of, like a loading screen on a video game skip. You know what? I forgot to include. Damn. I meant to include this in the presentation. I hope I still have it. Yeah. Okay. This was I can't believe I forgot this. All right. Happy you mentioned that, Ken. All right, so I wanted to show this, okay? Now, when we read DMT trip reports, they talk about how they run across Source or God. And this image right here that an artist created was from his trip report. And this is his version of God. This is his version of the creator or source. I think he used source specifically. But you get what I'm saying. Here is another God. This is a holographic DMT image Pentaclon set. Okay, so it's it's got the all-seeing eye. You got the earth below. I mean, it's chock full. I mean, yeah, I think it's a cool pick too. But point is that's what he interpreted as God, source, the creator. So is he going to see that when he leaves here? Is that what the Matrix is going to provide for him? Probably. Highly probable. I mean, of course he could, I think it depends on the most highly embedded belief system that you have is what they will roll out for you. It's whatever they have calculated in their matrix fuckery computer to has the best chance of keeping you here. That's how I view it. I mean, that's how I would run it if I was running the place. I would be doing all these statistical breakdowns of what's most important to you and going with that. And that's essentially what they're doing anyways. And then think about it, they have multiple options too. I mean, it could be, you're a dog lover, a cat lover, they could, they throw multiple things. Just another thing with near-death experiences that's really crazy, especially for the people who don't want to come back. I've talked about this a number of times where you have a mother, okay? Or it could be a father too. It doesn't matter. Let's just say a mother, okay? Who, one case in particular that stands out to me all the time there was this woman who has a near-death experience, crosses over, ends up running into the love bomb, an entity, and I think it was like her grandfather. Anyway, whatever it was one of the family members who was deceased, and so she's like, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. And so she said point blank, I did not have a feeling either way about my kids. That's what she said. And so the Matrix parasite gives her option number 1. I think it was like her son. And then the option number 2 was her daughter or second son, something like that. And then the Matrix is like, drum roll please. Well, what's behind door number 3? But your mother, who just happens to be dying of cancer. Step right up and ding, 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 and then all hell breaks loose and she goes back. She's guilt tripped. She's guilt tripped. Oh, mom's dying of cancer. Oh, man, I forgot. Mom's going to go. She needs me. Blah, blah. So it wasn't the kids. Kids 1 and 2 didn't work. But on the 3rd try, boom, she was sent back. But that was her choice. That was the one that tugged at the heartstrings the most. So they have these mechanisms in place that, if they're not successful with one thing, they'll keep trying until eventually they strong arm you into caving. And okay, so yeah, we'll leave it at that. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap it up, my friends. I just want to check in with Igor real quick, because he came in late and it's always nice to see him. Solomon, I'm sorry, bro. I know, it's just, I go by people's screen names and it's hard for me to remember everybody. But I'll try and Solomon. Brax says, this is my favorite channel. Wow, thank you. That is very kind of you. Thank you. Very humbled to hear that. Anne says, I hate that I can't even go into the grocery store without cameras at eye level on every aisle. Our smart devices are watching our every move. We ought to start giving the camera the FU when we walk by. Yeah, I've actually done that a few times. But, want to hear something hilarious? There was one time a local police chopper was flying by, and you know how they have the cameras usually like underneath the bottom, like towards the front. They usually have one like in the center bottom of it, and then they have one in the back. And so like it was circling around across the way here for fucking like 10-15 minutes, loud as hell. And so finally I'm like, I give it the finger. I'm like, this and that. And then it stuck around even longer and started circling my house, just because I was just so annoyed. It's like, get the hell out of here. What the hell are you doing? There's nothing going on. It's not like there's a crime being committed. There was no cops, no fire department. It's not like, there was some runaway vehicle that robbed a bank or something. It was ridiculous. I didn't know what the hell they were doing. Anyways, but yeah, so that was my interaction with giving the finger to a police chopper. Just ended up dealing with more loud noise that I didn't want to deal with. Joyce, good to see you, sister. Nice to see you. Always good to see you, Joyce. Okay. Let me pop that up. Nope, not that thing. Pop that back up. Okay. Just for a few more minutes. Alright, got no more than 3-4 minutes and I gotta bounce. I want to keep this under 2 hours if I can. Even I'm trying to do shorter videos, it just doesn't work. I like chatting with you guys and hearing what you have to say, and it's always nice. So Solomon says, I think that we must be careful with the whole source issue. I have my notions of the monad, but it is not a belief system. I truly believe in my sovereignty, yet I know I have an origin. Well, I think we all have an origin. Solomon, what I was saying earlier is that it's the multiple creators thing. If you rewind later, if you rewind the video and start fresh, you'll see what I'm saying. It's I don't have an opinion either way. Well, I do have an opinion, but I would say that seeing as we are all creator beings, Solomon, that we would have to be under the impression that we would not be capable of creating life ourselves. So, like, the question really is there really only one true creator that creates all existing, like, beings like us? Our spirits create spirits, okay? Or is there a line in the sand from the King Pumbaa that we are not allowed to do something like that? Like, to me, because we have the ability as creator beings, it would kind of point in the direction that it very well could be that we have created spirits ourselves. I'm not saying that's definitely the case, but it's something that is definitely on the table. So theoretically, we could have different creators that actually created us, even though there has to be like one root source that started it all, right? Or however it worked. I mean, it's a real crazy thing to think about. So that's kind of what I was getting at with the video and that specific section. So oops. Okay. I think basically as long as we're not giving ourselves away to something else, that's really all that matters. I don't believe that the creator needs any merging or reuniting with. I think that the creator just creates if there's only one single creator. That's first and foremost. But if the creator just creates, it's not worried about how we feel and are we having a bad day, or is Earth a dumpster fire? I mean, clearly that's not the case, right? I mean, this freak show down here has been going on long enough to say without any doubt that nothing is stepping in. There are no saviors of this realm besides ourselves. We can only save ourselves. So, So why roll the dice is kind of what I was going with, Solomon. Okay, Solomon says, it is possible that we create more divinities with our mind due to the holographic fractal connection with the monad. I think there's a multiplicity of godhood, some natural, others through us. I'm open to it. I'm open to it. It's kind of like it's just one of those areas where we just really don't know. We just I mean, all I know is I don't feel, I'm not my organic state here, and there's a lot I'm missing and a lot I don't have access to, and it's kind of a waiting game. So it's more just kind of asking questions to ask questions, and whatever it will be, and we'll find out soon enough. So I'm probably going to be doing a stream tomorrow, just so you guys know. And if you did enjoy this stream, please consider hitting the like button and maybe even sharing this. And if you are awake to the Matrix Reincarnation Soul Trap, I encourage each and every one of you to consider, maybe making your own video or your own audio podcast or a blog post or a Twitter post, Instagram, all that crap. And just sharing your thoughts on it and making people aware of it. The more people that find out about what's going on here, the better. And I think that's the one thing that we owe others, is to inform them about this most important truth. Because you never know what comment you'll leave or what thing you'll say that triggers somebody to say, whoa, okay, I'm going to go look at that. And even small things like sharing my content, on Reddit, I know some of you do that. The Godlike Productions is another one where I know you guys are sharing some of my stuff. Twitter, all that stuff, that I appreciate it. But, don't be afraid to throw yourself in there too. If you, consider going in there and say, hey, I this is what I feel is going on. And, you can learn more about it by doing your own research. And that's the big thing I try to stress here too, is that, everybody can figure this out for themselves very easily. It just takes a lot of time. That's all. Just takes some time. But that's the end of that part. I will say also, again, that it's kind of weird that this channel out of nowhere started to have, well, actually there's two issues, which I haven't really, I was going to explode on one of them the other day, but I held back and I thought I'd wait. But one issue is the chapters and timestamps, which I did a video on, and we had a short talk after that. So, so the timestamp chapters module no longer is up for the channel, but there are timestamps and chapters in each video that I have them for in either both the description tab and pinned in the comment section. The other thing that happened, which is absolutely gonna not explode, but one of my more well-known videos is no longer appearing for a few friends that I talk to. I first noticed it on my end, and then I asked some friends to check and see if they see it, and some of them said they saw it, and then some of them said they didn't see it, which makes no sense. and it's mostly not showing up on mobiles. The pre-birth memory video that I have, and it was really weird because it was a lot of people seemed to be connecting with that video. It's a really, that guy's stories or experience and recall is nuts, and it exposes the soul trap so well. And that was just one of the videos that people really enjoyed, and the numbers on the video was good, and then all of a sudden it just slowed down out of nowhere. And I suspect that it's because it's not visible for some people, or maybe even certain countries. But normally if there's a block in a country or something like that, I see that in the YouTube studio. But just, combining the weird thing with the timestamps and now the video not showing. And then I also had another person say that she couldn't see two videos. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on. So I would just suggest signing up for the 2 backup channels with the bell on, all notifications. I don't plan on using them unless I have to. That may change down the road. I also have Odyssey account. If you haven't signed up for Odyssey, consider using my invite link and checking out the site. I do occasional Odyssey exclusive streams over there, and depending on if something ever does happen here, I may just abandon YouTube completely. I hope that doesn't come down to that, because I as much as I can't stand a lot of the crap going on here, it's just everything about it's easier, and everyone has a YouTube account. It's just the most popular platform. So, not to ramble on too much, but I just wanted to make you guys aware of what some of the weirdness that's going on. And, I don't have an answer. I mean, I find it weird that YouTube didn't even really say anything about the whole chapter thing, except that they're still investigating. And it's I don't know. It is what it is. But, maybe it's perfectly explainable. Yeah, sure. Okay. All right. We'll see what happens. Much love to you all. Stay safe out there. And maybe I will see some of you tomorrow. I'm not sure what time I'm going to be streaming, but hopefully by early mid-afternoon I should have a link up. So feel free to check back. And I'll leave it at that. Take care of yourselves, sleep well, have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see each other again real soon. Thank you. Oh yeah, and there's memberships too if anyone wants to join. Gotta get that last plug in there. Much love.